Welcome in to Senior Bowl coverage here in the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green live from Mobile, Alabama. Senior Day part deux. First day of practices. I mean, the look on your face just tells me you've been having a blast.
Well, it should tell you that I've been having a lot of the sun because I am fucking fried. My face is burnt in a way that I'm not sure a standard oven could do to it.
Did you pack the 100 SPF?
No, but we did buy some yesterday.
I was going to say you better go get some because it's your Irish complexion is going to be hurting.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I'm not sure how well this shows because the lighting in this room is a little orangey anyway. But if you look at my hands, I've got one hand that is super red and one hand that looks normal. And this hand hurts a lot. That was
It's
the
the
one.
right hand, isn't it?
It's right on the screen, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say you were riding down the road with your arm out the window, weren't you?
No, I was holding a pair of binoculars, and that was the sun side.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So the first day of practices, I guess, in the books, we've seen a lot of reports around there from the different scouts that are there about guys that popped off yesterday on the program. You were telling us that offensive line, a couple of guys stood out to you yesterday. Anything change in your review and then maybe in the second practice?
The second practice didn't. The American team is just not as good. And look, there's a lot of times that the first day of practices are clunky. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. The quarterbacks on the American team, it was super obvious which two have actual NFL aspirations and the rest of them are all backups. Joe Milton was not good. I mean, and there were moments for all of them. You see that they'll all be drafted, but that's one of the things that no matter how many times I do shit like this, it never stops being funny to me, the difference in quarterbacks. Quarterbacks to me are a lot like porn stars. You don't have to tell me which ones are good. I will figure it out in really short order.
All right. I've seen Bo Nix getting some good headlines from yesterday. Were you impressed with him at all?
Bo Nix reminds me so much of Baker Mayfield that it's almost comical how much he reminds me of Baker Mayfield because he can do special things. And he had a couple special throws yesterday. And then he will short arm an easy throw, or it's the knock I've had on Bo Nix forever. He showed to me yesterday that he's a day 2 pick in the NFL. I don't see first round pick. I think somebody's going to do this wrong. I've seen a lot of people that got really excited by what he did, and it didn't really change my opinion. I had him as roughly the 80th best prospect in this draft class, and after yesterday, I have him as the roughly 80th best draft pick in this draft class.
Nothing changed. He didn't show you anything new.
No, I mean, it's what I've seen over a lot of years, Oregon, Auburn, is that he can do special things, and it's as I've told you about Baker Mayfield. He can do special things that nobody else can do, and then he can make routine things look impossible.
All right, who else stood out to you in day one?
Rosamie Jack Saint was the name that really jumped off with the American team. And Mullet Sr. noticed him early. He asked me, who's number one? If he asked me that once, he asked me that 3 times. And by the third time he asked me that, I went, okay, let's really lock in on Rosamie Jack Saint. And he looked pretty good. Look, there are a ton of receivers here. This is a great year to need a receiver because there are probably 12 of them that are here in Mobile with us that I think are contributors at a high level in the NFL. And I didn't really understand why Rosamie Jack Saint was here because the tape just didn't really make me think he was going to be a higher level draft prospect. He helped himself a lot yesterday.
Also, I've seen several lists that had Ladd McConkey listed.
Yeah, he had a play yesterday where he fell down. He slipped on the route, and the ball had already come out before he slipped. And so he slipped on just a little hitch route. And before he could even stand up, the ball was at his face, and he still caught it.
Dude's a gamer, man.
Well, I mean, he's Julian
I
Edelman.
know you look. I know he's not one of those guys that you look at and you go, "Man, that guy's a no doubt NFL player."
Well,
But
I mean,
he's got that grit.
well, here's the thing about Ladd McConkey. If we were doing a poll of NFL players that you would be least scared to see in a bar fight, Ladd McConkey would be top 5. I also am not sure that he doesn't walk into the league as a top 5 route runner as it sits. That was something that caught me, was just how good he is in and out of breaks, how good the hands were, and how much smaller he was than some of the other guys. And now, you also got to understand that's a little biased because he had Johnny Wilson standing right beside him who's 6'7", and that does make it look a little worse than it is. But look, Ladd McConkey's he's a second-round pick to me.
Okay. Another guy, Tyler Guyton. I know you were high on this guy.
It kind of made me laugh.
Point.
Well, it kind of made me laugh that we got to this point in the process, and I hear the scouts talk about him. I don't hear like the mock drafters talk about him, and those two aren't always the same people. Tyler Guyton's better than Anton Harrison, who came out of Oklahoma last year, went to the Jaguars at 26. Tyler Guyton's better than that, and it was abundantly clear to me yesterday. He's going in the top 20. I think he could go as high as the top 15. So I said last night I could see him going 13 to the Raiders because they need a tackle. He's a little raw. I think he starts on the right side with the intention of eventually moving him to the left.
Apparently he did very well in the one-on-ones yesterday.
He did. He was, I mean, you can see the skill. You can also see the raw. And that's why I love this event so much, is that you get guys, and everything's even. All right, so I'll give you an example. A guy like Malachi Corley, who played at Western Kentucky, never played with talent that was equivalent to himself. Then he goes up against an Ohio State. He has 8 catches for 88 yards. Well, he was the best player on his side of the field. What would he have done had he had a high-level quarterback, had he had a high-level offensive line? That's what it's hard to see on tape. Here, there's none of that. You've got great NFL talent at every position, and you can really see it one-on-one, where everything's equal. And that's a lot of what I get out of this. And then you get guys actually going one-on-one, which, I don't get to see them run an Oklahoma drill at noon on Saturdays. So it's a different tool in the belt for guys like me that are trying to evaluate these guys.
I've been asked a lot by my morning cohort, Mark Starling, about the Senior Bowl. He doesn't really understand what it's all about. And I'm trying to explain to him that, this is the time where it's not so much about the game, it's about the drills.
Yes.
And yesterday, you got to see some great drills. And you talked about that a little bit yesterday with Talise Fuaga.
Yeah, he's not making it out of the top 10.
And Leatu Latu.
That was so much fun to watch. I mean, I'll be honest with you, that was so much fun to watch. Those two just went at each other. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't get the opportunity to tell you this when we were talking on the radio yesterday because it was happening as I was talking to you. Jeff Ulbrich, my guy, defensive coordinator of the Jets, he did something I've never seen, and I don't know if this is commonplace here. This is my first time here. But he had guys that had been going at each other all day go have a final one-on-one in the middle of the field. They did it on a 50-yard line.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
It was Fuaga and Latu, Tez Walker and Kalen King, and I don't remember who the other one was. And they ran 2 reps apiece. And whichever side won, the other side had to do push-ups. So if the defense won, the offense had to do push-ups. If the offense won, the defense had to do push-ups. And the offense got the better of them. And it was – I've never seen that in a situation like this. And I just thought it was really cool and was it was to me, the national team is just leaps and bounds better. But there's still a lot of talent on that American side too. Now, what you said about the Senior Bowl, I'll explain it to you. I've done a few interviews since I've been down here, and you know me and analogies. I love a good analogy, so I'll give you the one that I did with an Alabama group down here. This is basically a job interview. So you've got all these kids from colleges all over the country that graduated top in their class. And instead of just going into a boardroom and interviewing with the board of directors, let's say this was lawyers, they're going out and trying cases against each other to show who's better. And so you really see a lot of the deficiencies. It's unlike anything you will see in any other profession. That's why this is an event that I'm telling you, I will never miss this event again. I feel like I know in one day, I feel like I know players here better than I've ever known a class in all the years I've done this.
Nice. I'm jealous, and I think next year I need to go with you.
I'm down. You're driving because the drive blows.
Well, you know me. I love to drive. That's what makes
sucks.
us a good team.
The drive sucks. So, yeah, it's totally fine. And I'll be honest with you, there's a possibility that I'm going to go to the combine too. So maybe we take the show on the road, and we bring in somebody to push your buttons and go to the combine.
I'd be all about it. All about it. So, same routine today, just early practice, late practice, or is there anything special going on?
Yes, today the practice schedule is the same every day. It starts at about 10 o'clock at Central Time, so 11 o'clock Eastern. That practice runs till about 1 Eastern. Then there's a 30-minute break where you get on the field. I did not go on the field for interviews yesterday. I may try to do that today. I'm not sure. I heard some of the interviews that came from the field yesterday, and I'm just not sure you get much from that. There's a media availability this afternoon. There's a media dinner right down the street from where we're staying. So if they'll let me into that, I will. I don't know. There's different levels of credential. Mine and Dad's look different, which I don't fully understand. They're registered to different people, which I don't fully understand. So, like, I'm registered to iHeart Asheville, and so is he. I'm registered to ESPN Radio. He is not. Mine doesn't have the show on it. His does. So, figure that out. And I filed them the exact same way.
Right.
So, I don't get a ton from the media interviews. These guys aren't going to say anything to anybody that's doing what we do that's going to hurt their stock. So, to me, the film that's the lay of the land. That's what we're doing today. We're going to get into a slightly better spot. I like to be up high because it allows me to see more. And I want to get tape that we can use over the course of this. So that's my goal today. And I've got a watch list of guys that I've either been asked about or I didn't get a good enough look at yesterday. And a lot of that was American team guys because I did not have nearly as good a look at their linemen as I did their receivers. The way they spaced their practice was very bizarre to me.
Okay. I know you're really excited to also lock in on Spencer Rattler.
Oh, yeah. I saw plenty of him yesterday. He was directly in front of me. And let me say this as clearly as I can. I ain't been wrong about him in 3 years. I ain't wrong about him now.
Fair. As long as you've now seen it with your own eyes and you've confirmed it in person.
Yeah, the mechanics are just inconsistent. I think he has a role in the league. But I don't know what that role is. I can tell you this much: it's not as a starter. So anybody
give
that
us
thinks
some names that you're looking forward to,
that I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah, today.
Let me get my notes here. Sorry, I got to duck off screen a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to go with the. By the way, you were talking about my notebook. Oh, just wait, just wait. So I'm going to put this in front of the camera. This is the second notebook. I already have one of these that's filled, and I've been here a day and a half.
Dang.
If that tells you anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, and I'm having to compare. You'll have to give me just a second because I'm having to compare. I've got a bunch of like number 6 from Missouri. So I'm having to link up who that is. Because I have that, but it's in a packet that's way over there.
Darius Robinson.
Yeah, that's one that a lot of people were really impressed by him yesterday. I did not get as good of a look at him. I didn't get as good a look at him as I wanted to, and I couldn't get close enough to really see. What I saw was really good, but I didn't get a good enough look. There's another one, and I can't remember what school this kid went to. I know he was with the American team too, and he was Ryan Flournoy from Southeast Missouri State. He was incredibly impressive in the little that I saw. And like I said, I didn't see a ton, but I had the binoculars on. I had a pretty good look at some of the things he did. Braden Fisk, who you and I have talked about, what little I saw of him, he really shined yesterday. Looking forward to seeing him. The corners from Auburn, they've got two secondary players here. Nehemiah Pritchett was the one that just jumped off the screen to me yesterday. I'm looking through two little binocular eye holes, and so I'm only seeing what that will show me. And it seemed like every time I turned around, I think he wears number 36, and every time I looked down, I was writing 36 down in my notes. So he had a really good day yesterday. The other one is DJ James.
36 is Jalen Simpson from Auburn.
That's right.
Their two corners are Nehemiah Pritchett, number 1, and DJ James listed as number 4.
Yes. 36 was, what would you say the name was?
Jalen Simpson.
Jalen Simpson. And I remember that one because he's not on the official invite list. He was a late ad, and I had to scrounge around to find, I guess they printed the numeric rosters, at least the ones we got, because I still had Cedric Von Prawn, who is not here. And I didn't have that kid, so I had to scurry around to figure out who the fuck that was. Because I couldn't see his nameplate. All I could see was his number.
Yeah.
And then finally, I figured out it was Jalen Simpson. Yeah, he's another one I want to watch. He looked pretty good yesterday as well. Another guy that I saw a lot of yesterday, and I was not overly impressed, was Xavier Legette. I want to give him another shot. He's not overly fast, and I already knew that coming in. But he didn't separate well yesterday, and I think it could very easily be because the quarterback play wasn't very good. He didn't impress me all that much, but he is very physically impressive. He was the other one that was standing beside Ladd McConkey that made him look like a whittle boy. Because it was Johnny Wilson, Xavier Legette, and McConkey.
Right, and he's, 40 pounds heavier and 2 or 3 inches taller than he is.
Oh, Legette? Legette is as tall as Johnny Wilson is.
Is he that big?
And it may have been the angle I was looking at them at, but they were standing right beside each other, and I swear to you, he looked as big as Johnny Wilson.
Okay.
So I don't give a shit what they're listed at. I saw them standing right beside each other.
Right, they look similar.
And I'll tell you, an early candidate for the Amon-Ra St. Brown team, of which I'm going to come out with the all-senior bowl team for me, and I'll put that up Monday when we get back. An early candidate for that, Javon Solomon. That's a kid that I had not dug into that deep, and it felt to me like he just screamed through on. Basically, every time I saw him yesterday, it was, damn, that was a good rep. I think he wears I think it's 40.
40.
Yeah.
Edge rusher from Troy.
Yeah. I thought he was 40 because that's the fun thing about doing this is that I'm basically taking glorified notes. And when I see a number with a school name, I would go back. I went back through when we got back to the hotel last night, and I made out a list of who I was really interested to see, and he's definitely one of them.
Awesome.
You want to hit some of those questions in the chat? I don't have a second screen, so
yeah. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Victor Shelton says, "Mullet, you're looking next level this morning."
Yeah, the mullet. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had to take a very cold shower because I'm very burnt, and yeah. So the mullet probably looks a little permed today.
He wants to know what you think the Titans will do early in the draft now that they have an offensive-minded head coach in Brian Callahan.
It's offensive line or wide receiver. And I'll be honest with you, I'd take the offensive lineman. Anything that ties to receiver. And look, I'll be honest with you, I love Malik Neighbors. I love all the high-end guys. I love all the first-round guys. What I saw yesterday, there are players that you can get at wide receiver that can come in and start for you immediately in the second and third round, and there are guys that you can take flyers on day 3 that may be able to start for you.
He also wants to know about a draft watch party this year. And
yes.
Yeah, we'll be doing that.
We're still hammering out how we're going to do that. I'm not flying to Detroit, so I have no interest in being in Detroit. So
unless Ben Johnson wants us to come up and hang out at his house.
Yeah, that I'd probably do.
And wants to know about the Auburn kids as well. The corners and the safeties that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of those gave up the 4th and 31?
DJ
I can tell
James.
you that. It was James.
It was DJ James.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was more of a scheme thing than them actually than them doing something horribly wrong. That was a bad call.
Kelvin Joyner wants to know about small school guys. You got some small schoolers that have jumped out to you just yet, or that are on your radar for the next couple of days.
Ryan Flournoy, the receiver from, what did I say, Southeast Missouri State.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good in the little bit that I saw from him yesterday. Kamani Vidal is going to be a guy whose name I say a bunch of times. He's a running back from Troy that was really, really good yesterday. We said his name over and over and over and over again. There's not a ton of small school guys here. Mainly it's bigger. It almost catches you off guard when you see that different helmet. And there are some that I want to get a better look at today. But Flournoy's the one that jumped off the page. And then the 2 Troy guys. There's a lot of UConn guys here, too. We got 3 UConn guys, which caught me a little off guard.
Yeah, that seems a little odd.
And Christian Haynes, he's a dog. Today, I'm going to keep an eye on the tight ends as well. Theo Johnson from Penn State had a really good day yesterday. And I'm curious to see if he does the same thing today. If he does, I feel pretty sure he'll slide into the 3 or 4 spot at tight end. I need somebody to separate. And he kind of appeared to do that to me yesterday. So I'm just looking forward to seeing these guys. We'll be headed to the field probably 45 minutes. We got to get something to eat before we leave here. And day two. Yeah, go stack up. I'm sure they got the great. If your hotel doesn't have a great continental breakfast, I'm sure they probably got something down the field. Well, they have we have a restaurant here. That is, we have a restaurant in the first floor. We have a bar on the 17th floor. So, yeah, we're in pretty good shape here.
Why am I not surprised? You don't do anything second level.
No, well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to get stabbed. And for me, there are certain hotel chains that I trust. There are certain hotel chains that I don't trust. And this one was a pretty easy solution. It's right off the interstate. It's really convenient to the field. And we figured out on the way back yesterday that we can actually go straight down one road and land at the field. It's like a 20-minute drive, but you have to go through school traffic. So keeps us off the interstate, which is it's super serial.
All right, we'll get you some food, get all settled in, get down there, and we will be watching all your social media updates. Planning on doing another live, I'm sure, tonight with your wrap up.
You hung up on me, so I have absolutely no idea what you just said.
You still there?
Yeah, try it again. You hung up on me, so I have no clue what you just said.
Oh. I said we'll get some food in you and get all settled in down there, and I'm sure you'll be doing another live when you come back tonight.
Yes, I will. I battled through that, hey, what the hell is going on thing basically all afternoon because I couldn't figure out what was happening. then once I think it was McQuirt sent me a message that said, the stream's still running, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, didn't know that.
No.
Yep, but that makes sense because I've never seen that message before. I've also never had two computers running streams at the same time.
Indeed. It won't happen again, and you'll be all clear for the next one.
Indeed. Yeah, I'll be putting out stuff about guys that I've seen, guys to watch for the game. I may make it to that media dinner tonight. I may not. I'm getting way more.
Either way, we'll see you when you give the day 2 practice notes report tonight, and we'll touch base with you again tomorrow. There will be no afternoon show today on ESPN Asheville. We're going to take the afternoon off. Tomorrow, the show will return at noon, where the sports director from News 13, WLOS, Chris Womack, will be sitting in with me, and we'll definitely have a check-in from Mobile while you're down there.
Sounds good. I'll be here.
All right, day 2. It's looking forward to all the reports. We will see you guys next time right here in the Sportsocracy.